Good morning, y'all. Um, so this one's gonna be like a work vlog, right? Now, like I was watching the news and all that, and it's just like, oh, one of the biggest things with the American economy right now is like people don't want to work, right? Like, oh, we got 9 million jobs, 5 million people living off of unemployment, millions of immigrants that want to come in and work. But there's also the people saying, um, what's it called? They're gonna steal our jobs, right? So let me break this down. And I'm gonna start a channel on it. And I'm sorry, not channel on it. I'm not gonna do a whole bunch of channels. I'm gonna just do sections, right? So, like work shouldn't be like an issue for people, you know what I mean? Like work period, whether it's like your work, personal work, working for someone else, your business, it's just work. You know, we just call it work, the process of doing something to get a result, right? So, like, this is why in school they teach you about history and they show you history because, like, back in the day, life was not this simple. You couldn't go down the street and get some bread, some food, some tomatoes. Like, maybe, but what? You had to pay something. You had to have something of value to trade for the value that they put in, you know? So, me as a kid, right? I never really stole or anything like that. I might have took a few things, I say without asking, like, cause I thought it was casual, like, maybe like food, an apple, but I never really was a thief, right? So like, cause everything comes from somewhere, nothing really just like magically appears. If it does, then magic. But I'm gonna start like, so this one's like before I was 10 years old. You know, you realize that like people used to always try to teach you to have manners, be respectful. Basically, like you just learn to coexist, right, in the world, how to survive. And I always kept up those manners, that good behavior, just being cordial with people, making voting interactions, being hostile, and make sure complimenting people on themselves. Like I may not fully know everybody, but like let's say like in the moment, I'm actually putting in the effort to like get to know them and hear what they're saying, right? So essentially this was actually pretty beneficial for me. Now, when I was like under 10, like people used to just always give me like money, gifts, food. They'll take me places because they used to enjoy my presence, right? They enjoyed how I talked, how I showed interest, how I just projected myself to the outside world, right? Basically, people love that, right? They love what they saw, they love what they experienced, they love what they felt. And because of that, and I'm 10, so it's not like I'm working anything. People wouldn't mind buying me stuff for my birthday or buying me gifts to celebrate, giving me things to celebrate, getting food, I said that already. If I needed something and I couldn't get it myself because I was young or just didn't have the buying power, let's say at that age, they'll help me out, right? That's essentially like credit. That's like real world credit, not paper credit, right? So that was like kind of like my hustle before I was 10 years old. And because when you're young, you do want to learn to do things. A lot of times you do want to do things yourself, but if it's like not like people don't want to risk you messing something up because you could be smart but you don't know, and they don't know till they know, until you prove them, right? So that's where like your character, your decisions, your actions, that's why they say those things matter, right? It's just unless you're like real deal solo dolo out here, all that stuff matters, right? So all that stuff matters. Now let's say, oh, let's be like, screw that. screw the system, the matrix, all of it's fake. Bro, you can't live in a society. Basically, you're saying you want to be a homeless person. You want to be like a wild animal, a wild human, a caveman, a bear. That's basically what you're saying. And if you want to do that, that is you. But you can't expect to have a pleasant time in a society. Like, you're gonna have to dip. You're gonna have to like illegally leave the US. I mean, I don't think you can legally leave the US. You know, like say like you fake your death. I mean, fake your death. If you fake your death on paper, that's illegal. But if you like just go missing and then come back, right? That's okay, right? If you're gonna go live in the forest and hunt and all that stuff, you know, harvest from trees and all that, you can do that. You just can't do that on a land that someone else already claimed, right? You can't go into someone else's environment, their habitat, their territory, and not expect like some backlash, right? No, you're like, oh, I didn't really have a choice to be born here, you know, I'm just here. Now, some people, when you're young, you're just kind of like, oh, whatever, I'm young. But then some people, when they get older, it gets them depressed. But at the same time, that's like the perfect thing to use to ground yourself, right? You're like, well, I didn't ask to be here, but I'm here. So there must be a reason, or I gotta find a reason, or I gotta make the most out of it, right? Because at a young age, I did kind of accept death, but hey, you know, that's not easy for everybody. There's always a duality to everything. Something can't exist without one side, right? So go back and focus back on the title. I did all this under 10 years old. Was it kind of intentional? No, but it came with a lot of like gut instinct and intuition. You know, if you're constantly hearing people talk about it, whether you know them or not, whether they're part of your circle or not, then like, you know, you should look into that topic or talk more amongst your peers with that topic. And me having that good character, even if I was a completely different person by myself, because the whole social aspect is taken out of it, to where I can like, you know, just go dumb or whatever, or not hold myself back. Like, I'm always holding myself back. Like, this is a public platform. I don't want to come off as like grooming and all that, but even as a kid, I was always holding myself back. You have to, you know, because you don't really have a right to infringe on other people, but if you want that person to be part of your life, or that person has to be part of your life for something that you have going on with yourself, you gotta learn to coexist. And me just simply coexisting, let's say with like my parents' friends, family, all that stuff, I eventually I was able to become who I am while still having people messing with me and still having people supporting me. That's a huge thing, because it's not easy to support yourself. Yo, what was that? It's not easy to support yourself. And I mean, it's not easy to put yourself without like money. Without the concept of money, it's really hard out here. You know, you have to maintain your house. You have to build the house. You have to go get running water, sewage, electricity. All these things, right, are done because there's a society. Without society, without being able to live, coexist, and appreciate other people, other aspects of the environment, which makes this ecosystem that we live in work, it's not going to be nice for you. You're going to be known as like a menace to society. You're going to receive a lot of hate. People are going to be impatient with people. People are going to be quick to throw you away, shoo you off, because you're not part of it. You're not part of all this. All of this doesn't exist without us, right? If you think it's just you for real, go to a forest or some shit, straight up.